Welcome into HogHype. Tyler Cash joined by Locked On Razorbacks podcast host John Nabors. John, hopefully putting that Oklahoma State game in the rear view and moving on to UAB.
Yeah, that was not the most fun game that Razorback fans got to experience, as we talked about last week. But you mentioned it. You got to turn the page. You still got 10 games to go, and the next one up is UAB, the first game in Fayetteville at Razorback Stadium. And honestly, this should be one that Arkansas comes out, wins big, and maybe rights some of the wrongs that they had against Oklahoma State. But either way, this might be exactly what the Razorbacks need to get ready for SEC play.
You mentioned first game in Fayetteville at Razorback Stadium. I know it's family weekend. What are you looking for just atmosphere-wise?
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I think if Arkansas would have beaten Oklahoma State, there's no doubt that the atmosphere would be a little bit higher. And the weather-wise, it looks like it's going to be warm, not too hot. So, there are a lot of events going on around the U of A. Maybe the crowd will be pretty solid, maybe in the 65,000 range, something like that. But I'm not expecting the atmosphere just to be electric, especially at that weird 3:15 mark where usually, at least in Northwest Arkansas, it's one of the hottest days of the year. So I expect it to be a nice crowd, a good crowd. It's the first game in Fayetteville, but I don't think that the crowd is necessarily going to play a major factor when you're going to be going up against UAB.
Yeah, you mentioned that. It should be an easy win. Is there anything about this Blazer team that kind of gives you pause, or?
I mean, there is some elements to them where they haven't looked great this year at times, and then there's other times that they've had some pretty good offensive drives, but it's their inconsistency because one drive they look all right, and the other drive doesn't even look like they've practiced anything. So this should be a game where it's all about Arkansas, to be honest. And in fact, earlier this week when we got to hear from the players like Jaquindon Jackson and Andrew Armstrong, when they were asked about UAB, they kind of looked at each other like, you want to tell them? I go, hey, listen, it's not that they didn't know, but they're just more focused on fixing them because let's be honest, that's what the problem was against Oklahoma State. And that's the problem that's going to keep them from having a successful season is themselves. They got to clear up their mistakes. They got to fix them, and they got to fix them quick, fast, and in a hurry. So I think as long as Arkansas just plays their game, it's not going to matter what UAB does. They're going to roll in this one.
All right, so for getting a win, if we take that as should be inevitable, what do you need to see out of Arkansas this week to feel better going into SEC play?
Well, I mean, I know I kind of mentioned it a little bit, but I need to see how this team bounces back after adversity because there's no question that the way that they lost last week's game is demoralizing. It's demoralizing to the fans, I can tell you that, but also to the players. You think about the 650 offensive yards you put up and you score 31 points. You don't win the game on the road against a top 25 opponent. It's frustrating. So how does this team respond? Yeah, they should win against UAB, but are they going to try to kind of sleepwalk through it and think, oh, all right, well, we'll just roll through this easily? Or are they going to come out fired up and really upset that they lost last week to that Oklahoma State team? That's going to be the ultimate question for me. I want to see the mistakes get cleaned up. I want to see some consistency. And I really honestly want to see some of the second stringers get in there and get some reps too because it's a long season. Guys are going to get hurt. They need as many reps as they can get.
All right, Arkansas hosts UAB Saturday, 3:15 p.m. on SEC Network. And don't forget, tune back into THV 11 Saturday night at 10 for Hog Zone, where we'll wrap everything up. And you can catch John on the Locked On Razorbacks podcast every day of the week on THV 11+.